Hello, I'm Joyce Woodworth. Welcome to the Spirit of Winona. The Birthday Ball is an annual event held by the Hospital Auxiliary to raise money for nursing scholarships and equipment for the hospital. It's probably the dressiest affair to attend in our community. Since 1962, with the birth of the new hospital, the Birthday Ball became an annual event where women wore their prettiest and most elegant dresses. Tonight we're at the Country Club, where a committee has gathered some of these dresses from the past, and they're going to present them in a fashion show. I'm sitting with Mara Ruckavina, who's the chairman of this year's Birthday Ball, and Lisa Hainsworth, who's the chairman of the Birthday Ball Fashion Show. Hi, girls. Welcome to the Spirit of Winona.
Thank you.
Now, tell me a little bit about the history of the Birthday Ball, and I know you know a little bit about that.
Sure. This year we're celebrating our 40th anniversary of the Birthday Ball, hence the theme Ruby Memories this year. The ball will be held September 28th here at the Winona Country Club.
Okay, and Lisa, now you put together this fashion show. Tell me a little bit about the fashion show, where you got the dresses, and tell me how far the dresses go back.
Well, we sent out requests for gowns, and they go back from 60s, early 60s, and we have 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Do they go all the way back to 1962 when the balls began?
I think the most information we got was early 60s, so we're pretty close. We were pretty happy with what we got.
Do you have anything real unusual?
We do have an interesting piece. My favorite, it's lime green with hot pants, so keep your eyes open for that one. So,
can you admit who wore those?
I think it was Carol Nelson, but
I believe I picked that dress up.
Yeah.
Yes, it's quite striking. Definitely.
Well, tell me about the Birthday Ball this year. What's going to be special about the Birthday Ball this year?
Well, this year we are planning kind of a historical theme, seeing it's the 40th, Ruby Memories, and we are going to be having some classic old 60s cars lining the drive of the country club here. A lot of neat history in the pictures, as you can see behind us, with the backdrop of a lot of the history that we have. Our decorations chair this year is a curator at the Historical Society, so she has provided us with just many, many neat old photos to have around, along with some of the vintage gowns that we have also. So it's going to be a great year.
Okay, well, I'm really looking forward to it. Now tell me about how many dresses you have, and tell me about some of the ones hanging up and the ones you're going to be showing.
Well, we have about 50 dresses in total, about 25, 26 old, and then equal in new gowns from the Bridal Boutique here in Winona. And then we had some ladies that were so gracious to give us multiple dresses that we couldn't, we had to pick our favorites and try to get a nice variety. So the rest of them we decided to display this evening. So.
Well, we're going to try and take a look at all of them, and I want to thank you for putting it together and for having us here.
Thank you, Joyce.
From 1907 through 1961, a charity ball was held each year around Christmas time by the Ladies Auxiliary to raise money for the Winona General Hospital. The first charity ball was held at the Masonic Temple. During those years, it was also held at the Oak Supper Club and the Winona Hotel. The very first birthday ball started off in 1962 to raise money for the new Winona Community Memorial Hospital on Mankato Avenue. Mary Edstrom, Gladys Miller, and Ruth Lucas chaired the event and set the pattern for the 40 birthday balls to follow. They titled the first ball the Starlight Ball. It was held on September 12th at the Winona Country Club. There were 13 or 14 pre-ball parties in private homes. The main event began at 9 p.m. The Jules Herman Orchestra played big band music, and a buffet supper was served from 10:30 to midnight. Over $4,000 was raised by these auxiliaries for nursing scholarships and equipment for Winona Community Memorial Hospital. And so it went, each year after a different theme, but the same purpose, a fancy, fun-filled event to raise money for the hospital. In 1963, the birthday ball was 1 year old. Therefore, the theme was the first birthday ball. It was the Jackie Kennedy era, and the fashions reflected her style. Marion Dorr wore this straight floor-length empire gown with a matching coat. Sue Wolf models the dress worn by Marion in 1963. The dress was altered several years later with a sequin top to fit the latest style of the day. In 1967, the theme of the ball was carousel. Janice Pierce wears a white short knit dress worn then by Pat Pappenfuss. Pat bought the dress in 1966 when the fashions were floor-length, but was unable to attend because of the birth of her son, so the next year she shortened the dress to fit the 1967 style. The year after, during the Mexican Fiesta birthday ball, Pat wore this lovely silk dress modeled by Jenny Wadowitz. Pat made the dress from the material given to her by a foreign exchange student from Taiwan. 1969 was the year of the Diamond Jubilee for the Winona General Hospital Association. Helen Hartwick was the chairperson for that event, and she wore this lovely cape modeled by Cindy Peterson. Early 70s provided a great deal of variety to the fashion world. The sexual revolution was upon us, and the clothes we wore reflected it. The mini, the midi, the maxi, and hot pants were all worn during this era. Carrie Drake models the hot pants outfit worn by Carol Nelson on an enchanted evening in 1974. Polyester fabric was introduced around this era, and Hilary Richard models a flowered polyester gown worn then by Pat Pappenfuss. Gloria Miller wears a colorful gown worn by Nora Nass, the chairperson in 1971 during a French theme ball titled La Soul Dorée. The bright, colorful jeweled earrings were very popular in the 70s as well. Rebecca Calhoun wears a dress from the mid-70s that portrays the pure June Cleaver look. Karen Littlejohn wears the dress she wore in 1976 when she was the chairperson for Riverboat Rhapsody. The dress has a Grecian goddess look that flows from gold studs at the empire waist. Shades of September was the theme of 1978's ball, of which Marlene Mulrooney and Linda Heward co-chaired. Marlene wore a cadet blue gown which she made herself. She altered the pattern by eliminating the right sleeve and adding a stole that drapes to one side, giving it a very Romanesque look. In 1979, the theme was 12 Doors to Japan. Fran Edstrom models the dress she wore the evening of. The black sheath features a stylized tree of life sewn with beads, sequins, cut glass, and pearls. The 80s were brought in adrift in Dreams of Dragons. In 1981, Marlene Koner wore this backless dragonfire red dress with a chiffon skirt just perfect for swirling around the dance floor. Ginger Hively Johnson wore this classy black off-the-shoulder gown, which Angela Johnson models, in 1982 for Levy Lights. In 1982, the theme was Tuxedo Junction. It was chaired by Judy Jeremiahson and Mickey Barr. The black dress Mickey wore is modeled by Sue Wolf. The following year, Mickey wore the baby blue halter gown worn by Karen Littlejohn when she co-chaired the Anniversary Waltz. This ball was in honor of 90 years of service of the auxiliary to the hospital. The gowns of the early 80s have proved to be very formal, and this strapless black and gold lace ball gown is no exception. Jennifer Spandy models this truly elegant dress for Debbie Wildenborg. Debbie models Betty Dada's Kelly green dress, which Betty wore in 1986 when she co-chaired with Jane Haugen, Autumn Rhapsody. Jane wears her own lacy royal blue dress. The square rhinestone buckle at the waist adds a look of elegance. Cheryl Miller looked absolutely stunning that same year in her riveting gold lame gown designed for her by her sister-in-law, Susan Miller. Mara Bucavina, this year's chair, certainly does justice to this beautiful dress as she models it for Cheryl. The Batman-style collar with the ruffles below certainly adds a flair that makes this dress something special. In In 1987, the theme of the ball was a silver soiree. Cheryl Miller and Susan Wernz were co-chairs, and Cheryl put the theme into her gown. Rebecca Calhoun modeled Cheryl's eye-catching silver prism lame dress. Patty Peterson fit right into the silver theme that year with this lovely satin silver gown worn by Cindy Peterson. Patty designed this dress after seeing it in New York with a white mink shrug. She kept it in her mind's eye and had it made without the white mink, but still quite stunning. By the end of the 80s, new doors were being opened for women, equal opportunities were developing in the business world, and the fashions reflected this. The dress Nora Nass wore for the appropriately titled birthday ball, Over the Rainbow, is modeled by Danielle Spandy. Its big shoulder makes a statement of coming across as being powerful, sophisticated, and feminine. Cheryl Miller models the dress Debbie Wildenborg wore in the early 90s when she co-chaired the Mardi Gras Ball. This gorgeous form-fitting cocktail dress is covered with white and black sequins and beads, artistically designed in a spiderweb pattern. Angela Johnson wears a hot little number worn by Judy Richter in 1995 when she chaired the ball and evening on the Orient Express. Jenny Wadowitz finishes the 90s look as she models a beautiful bare-shouldered dress worn by Kim Schwab when she chaired Starry Starry Night in 1999. This lovely black velvet and cranberry taffeta gown has a matching stole and portrays elegance. A more simple elegance can be seen in the last gown from the past birthday balls, represented here this evening. Carrie Drake models the dress worn by 1999 Auxiliary President Sarah Hudson. Gail Bradbury, the MC for the evening, starts off the new gown portion of the fashion show with a sparkly silver dress. Grace Welly, the co-chair for this year's birthday ball, Ruby Memories, is next, and the gowns that follow are all new and can be purchased at the Bridal Boutique in Winona. Well, we've seen some great fashions from yesterday and today. This has been Joyce Woodworth at the Birthday Ball Fashion Show. Please join me again next week. Till then, enjoy the Spirit of Winona.